Alright, welcome back everybody to another game of TNT Championship Season 1 2024. We are going to pop into, I believe this is competitive Group D, NounVerber versus ThatScar. Let's take it away here, match number 1. Spawning on the left-hand side, we've got NounVerber. And over on the right, ThatScar. Okay, very similar loadouts from both sides. The only difference is Pigeon for NounVerber, Mine for ThatScar. Wolf seems like a pretty natural choice right now. I feel like we're in a Tier 2 meta, and the Wolf does a great job at buffing those Tier 2 units up, especially the Falcons. So we'll see if we can get to that late game. But we got Squirrel Mole for both sides for the early game. NounVerber kind of rocking the classic this guy comp, as it's called. Squirrel, Mole, Pigeon, Skunk pushes that this guy got a pretty big claim to fame with. You can see this mole rush from ThatScar here. Oh, I think ThatScar forgot you could burrow to it. Oh, no. Use the burrow feature. Okay, it does burrow over to it, but it's too late. This is not going to do anything anymore. The farm needs to be building. So ThatScar keeping it dicey. I mean, with a little spot like that to hide a mole, like, you got to try, you know, so... Other than that, actually a little bit of a faster Warren. NounVerber, though, did a good job in not overreacting. Just gets up to a clean 8 farms. So going to have a little slight economic advantage moving into the mid-game here, or early game, I should say. 8 farm, Warren into mill is the play for Verber. And let's see if ThatScar is going to take a mill or not is really the big decision we're looking for right here. ThatScar just trying to finish getting a lay of the land. But they should come in here, see the opponent's second base. That's what I'd be checking for. So bam, checked for it, found it, and is going to come home. And let's see how they want to respond. They are actually going to put some Warrens in a little bit of a cheeky spot. So ThatScar is not going to expand. Instead, might try a push to punish the expansion from NounVerber. NounVerber is going to see some Tier 1 Warrens. Doesn't see the rest of them, though. Knows that some food is missing. Trying to do their due diligence. Finds it. Great job there by NounVerber. And ThatScar also getting a good scout. So both players know exactly what the opponent's up to. I think NounVerber is pretty safe. I think he could add a single farm and just rail out a bunch of Tier 1. Let's see how they want to go for it. Not going to go with the single farm. I'm a little bit torn on that myself. Like, you have invested the 60 food to get the mill, which is totally fine with defender's advantage, but I'd almost argue like you should get the farm even if you know your opponent's not expanding. I don't know if that's too much though, especially if the opponent has moles. I don't know, it's a tough call to make, but there comes a couple farms now. I think NounVerber did not see the expansion actually. So Skunk's coming down for both sides. I wonder if ThatScar is going to think about a little bit of a timing. I don't think he's going to quite have it. Overall, I think NounVerb has a slightly better build, but this is definitely still anyone's game. Noun was a little bit afraid to throw down those farms earlier when ThatScar kind of showed a ton of Tier 1 Warrens. Good spot for a mine right there, not that big of an investment. So this might be a game that we got to let cook for a little bit. So again, thanks everybody for tuning in. Always a pleasure. I know it's been a little bit of time, but I mostly just use this channel to stream whenever we have events going on. So big shout out to Tatanka and Floor and Unprecedented Studios and Illuminatus for making this event possible. Without them, I would not be able to cover competitive matches. So NounVerber kind of fakes a move out a little bit. ThatScar, though, put down a wolf. And NounVerber is none the wiser. So this is a little spooky for NounVerber. If that wolf gets out, it's going to be tough. Let's see. Oh, interesting. Oh, NounVerber was setting up for the base race. And got kind of caught out there by ThatScar. So Wolf Warren has completed. Wolf needs to be paid though. Should be momentarily. Wolf on the way for NounVerber as well. So That wolf is going to be about... Ooh, okay. About a minute and a half behind ThatScar's. Maybe less. Like a minute 20. So that might actually matter. Because sometimes with the wolf, you don't move out immediately. Okay, wolf is scouted. This is an important scout for ThatScar. Scouts it as well. Good job scouting all game long from both sides. If this goes into a 3-base game, it's going to be difficult for NounVerber. I don't think Noun wants to go down that avenue. ThatScar should know that their wolf is ahead, but ThatScar might be a little scared or a little bit upset to know that their economy is pretty significantly behind. Although they remedy that now. And this is where we build as many falcons as we can. Probably start thinning down a little bit on the squirrels. Nice bind position right there. I wonder if Noun saw that one. Alright, yeah, that's what I was talking about. You kind of want... A lot of times the wolf spawns, you just kind of let them chill over here, yell at the pigs. This is going to increase your income by... it's going to double it. So instead of +1, it's +2. It's pretty cap-a-poggers. Wolf can also buff Warrens, get those out faster, so... Alright, wolf number 2 on the way for NounVerber. Interesting. Alright, NounVerber trying to transition into a hyper late game comp, but this is what I'm afraid of. Like, if ThatScar is allowed to get a 3rd base and NounVerber just really can't take one, you know, they're gonna lose to Wall Street eventually. Okay, ThatScar died so quickly, I don't think that they saw... Oh my gosh, they did see it. Alright, so they know it's a double wolf. But if you're ThatScar, do you really want to attack? Like, ThatScar's fine chilling, man. He's like, you know what, let's just hang out. Let's let me get to a 3rd base while you get stuck on 2. And then we'll fight much later. NounVerber can, in theory, take this 9 o'clock or 6 o'clock as they're trying to, but they've really got to zone the middle of the map, and there's just no way that that happens with this base here. This is a tough one because this is like right in this is the battle line, right? So that 3rd base is just not going to be long for this world. NounVerber actually taking another avenue of attack. It's coming all in over here. It's very far out. And here we go, big engagement. Oh, NounVerber changing their mind. This is normally not good. It's normally not good to retreat in tooth and tail. ThatScar is going to pounce in and get the better engagement and just start running over NounVerber's units here. A couple things went wrong for NounVerber. The big one was the retreat, though. ThatScar does end up with a lot of falcons left over. But maybe NounVerber can come in and snipe the 3rd. No, he backs off for now. The double wolf. I don't know about the double wolf. Maybe it will pan out. NounVerber's units have been replenished. Oh, the wolf went down for ThatScar. I didn't realize that. That's actually huge. Without the wolf, NounVerber's units are much stronger. Even though that attack didn't seem to go as great for ThatScar, the fact that there's no wolf buff here for... Or, I'm sorry, it didn't go that great for NounVerber. The fact that there's no wolf buff is huge, and the double wolf buff, everybody gets a buff. Yo, dog, I heard you like buffs, so we're going to put buffs on your buffs. And NounVerber is going to take the match, going into game number 2, 1 victory. Yeah, I did not realize the wolf died in that attack. Yeah, look at that graph. Ugh. All right. NounVerber looking good. Let's head into game number 2. On the right-hand side, NounVerber with the arty barbed wire. The Barty, as I just coined it. And in the top left, ThatScar. Picking up the board this time, dropping the Falcons. Interesting choice. Maybe he wants to go for more of a mid-game push than allow the game to get to the hyper late game. Like, curious what the plan is for ThatScar. Like, he's got this guy mid-game. And maybe you just sprinkle a boar on top of that and call it a win? Map seems okay. All of ThatScar's bases are a little bit far forward. Some weird ramping, and like honestly, this kind of stuff right here, these doodads in the middle of the map, like this has the potential to really change the outcome of the game. As weird as this sounds, like units just kind of getting stuck around these things, like can absolutely devastate an attack. Alright, 8 farm openings from both sides. Let's see if we get some 8 farm doubles or quick mills. What is going to be the play? Ooh, ThatScar, spicing it up. Quick tier 2. Very risky move with how short the rush distance is here. Kind of hoping, I think, that NounVerber went for a mill, because then it's not as risky. But if NounVerber just pedal to the metal squirrels, I think this map might be close enough to punish that. Not going to risk it, though, because there still is a really big defender's advantage. Instead, gets into their own tier 2, the Falcon being the choice. And, you know, if we just build up a bunch of squirrels, I think I'd rather have the Skunk than have the Falcons. I could be wrong, though, man. I mean, Falcons have been kind of seeing more and more early game play. NounVerber not really with a choice, though. It's not like they chose Falcon as their tier 2 to build here. They chose, I need a tier 2, and all I have is Falcon, if that makes sense. So ThatScar, gonna be the first to expand. Weird expansion from, oh, no, it's not. Because NounVerber is probably not looking to farm. He's looking to build barbed wire. Oh, and this cliff right here. Okay. NounVerber trying to set themselves up for some esports. Let's see it. Ooh! Oh my god, that pig still alive barely. The Skunk's getting great gas, though. ThatScar thwarting this very nicely. Okay, here comes that barbed wire. Yeah, this is why Noun wants that mill. I'm surprised he even built a farm on it. Probably like a hey, might as well situation. Come on, you almost have 180 bucks. Throw down an artillery cannon. I don't know. I don't think that's correct. Do not throw down an artillery cannon at home, kids. I would love to see it, though. Oh, a badger instead. Crazy. Dude, these people are crazy. See, if I ever do that, I just die. Like, I just immediately die. ThatScar doesn't know about it yet, though. ThatScar doing such a good job saving this pig. Look, that pig got healed back up and everything. NounVerber looking. He's thirsty. He's thirsty for some ledge abuse, and he gets it here. 2 pigs. You smell that? I smell some bacon cooking here for NounVerber. ThatScar trying to find a good angle to get in there. The clock is ticking, though. The Badger needs to be paid for. Badger gets paid for. Actually, absolutely huge that that happens before the engagement. Because if, like, ThatScar attacked, like, 5 seconds earlier, even if the attack was fine, like, that Badger would just never get money. Because all the money would go to the tier 1 and tier 2. And this is looking bad for NounVerber. ThatScar kind of calling his bluff here. And just putting the pedal to the metal on the squirrels. Really good job ecoing up during all this, too. So ThatScar is in a wonderful position to win this game. The Badger is on the way. It might be a day late and a dollar short, though. A lot of tier 1 like this can just kind of dunk down on a Badger real quick. There it is. I think that's where ThatScar's got to tap out. GG. Or I'm sorry, NounVerber needs to tap out. What am I saying? We're going to tie things up here, 1-1. And I will fast forward a little bit when people are not surrendering when they should surrender. Alright, there we go. GG. ThatScar, point on the board. No clean sweep for NounVerber. Man, I'm kind of feeling some Melvin Fro versus Mishi after this. What do you guys think? What do y'all think? I wonder if Olive wants to cast that with me. I saw him in the chat earlier. I don't know. I'm feeling a little bit more. Melvin Fro versus Mishi. I mean, that could be like the finals. All right. Game number 3. Let's get into it. In the top middle-ish of the map, NounVerber. And in the bottom, ThatScar. Okay, ThatScar. Dude, this deck. Oh my god. Love to see it. Both players doing some wonky stuff. It's the same deck as last time from NounVerber. So, really has some potential here. Well, I guess, like, what went wrong last game for NounVerber, if we think about it, right? You know, the barbed wire shenanigans worked pretty well. Honestly, I think it was just the Badger, right? The Badger was too much. I kind of joked, like, every time I try to do this, I die. Like, that's exactly what happened to Noun. Like, you can't be trying to get a tier 3 that early when the game is that scrappy. You know? Like, sometimes you can sneak out a tier 3 if it's a little bit of a passive game, but, like, NounVerber needed every piece of food accounted for there. You know, so 360 food and just doing nothing when the game was that scrappy. Like, if Noun had 300, that's like 9 squirrels. If Noun had 9 more squirrels, does he hold against ThatScar? But I don't want to just point out, you know, Noun's decision making. ThatScar had some very good decision making as well. The fact that they were able to eco up while being, like, contained, pressured, with Falcons doing cliff abuse, with barbed wire going up in your front yard. I mean, that was really cool from ThatScar. That was some pretty high-level stuff, in my opinion, to be able to weave in those farms and keep calm and carry on. So, interesting match there. And, yeah, we'll keep this thing going. Not a lot to say just yet. Both sides going for tier 1. Love this from ThatScar. Campfires are so strong in, like, a 1 base versus 1 base scenario. Because now all of a sudden I'm 9 farms to your 8 farms. And I didn't have to invest in a mill, so it's cheaper. That's like a 12% economy advantage, which is massive in an RTS. But NounVerber not looking to keep this on 1 base for too much longer. Does take that 2nd base. Let's see how much money they commit into farms. Meanwhile, ThatScar going for the ferret. They got the turret. You know, this is a nice map to try that ferret type of stuff. NounVerber gonna say, I don't think so. Try to push in here before the turret goes up. Actually, I feel like NounVerber could have targeted that turret. The fact that they didn't, though, is pretty huge. ThatScar trying to draw the fight back to get to that turret. Ferrets are on the way, though. Ferrets don't care as much about this barbed wire. Ferret's not the best unit in direct engagements, but can really pick apart the opponent if they have a nice area to retreat with like turrets or mines or something like that. So Ferret's here. Gonna start pushing in. I love to see ferrets. I've seen ferrets actually quite a bit in the tournament already. Really cool unit. I think they're a really high skill ceiling unit. But this is why generally, you know, they can not be as great as an early tier 2 compared to some other options, because a lot of times these shots just don't get anything done. Or the shots will one-shot something, you know. But yeah, again, the turret is really what gives a ferret the power. You know, being able to retreat back to that. Turrets are just incredible in this game. For 60 food and 10-second build time, like, they really do a ton of DPS. So, what Noun's got going for him here is the extra farm. 2 farms on that second base. So Noun does have that eco lead. ThatScar's been taking better trades. Noun's trying to get a better concave attack, but the problem is that ThatScar has just as many squirrels, plus the turrets and the ferrets. The pigeon's not doing that much here. Pigeons would be better if there was like skunks or poison. So really where the checkmate is going to be is when ThatScar can actually get shots down on the mill with the ferrets. Ooh, that one ferret goes down. That's good for Noun here. So yeah, this is exactly what ThatScar's trying to do. Can't overcommit to the mill, but like in between engagements, if we get a couple shots on that mill, and it's almost dead. Now, a little bit overcommitment there. Lost a lot of squirrels. But again, ThatScar's just so far ahead, and he just needs one more shot on that mill. NounVerber really trying to push the commander back. We are past the 5-minute mark, so the main bases are starting to fallow out. 4 farms already gone. This game is going to end soon. I mean, we're going to dry up. This is not a macro game. And Tooth and Tail, one thing that's really interesting about it is how fast... You know, it's kind of one of the only RTSs in that regard, where it's like, your main base is going to mine out, like, super fast. So if you're trying some one-base stuff, like, you've got a short clock to make it work. Getting a lot of good ferret shots here is ThatScar, but NounVerber trying to say enough is enough, move in. These Falcons don't get done what they were looking for. They really wanted to kill those ferrets. And I think ThatScar's just got it from here. Both players on 0 farms. So remember, the game counts a campfire as a structure, technically, not a farm. So it is a farm. And ThatScar is not starving. NounVerber is, though. This one should be over. We're going to watch NounVerber try to pull a rabbit out of his hat. But, oh, stops the starvation with the farm there. Going to do one last stand, and there it is, GG. ThatScar, going to go up a point. I think I could cast one more. Let me figure that out afterwards, actually. Yeah, we'll do another match after this. Okay. Game number 4. Let's hop into it. Spelling on the left-hand side, we've got NounVerber. And over on the right, ThatScar. Wolf Badger. No Falcon, though. Interesting. I kind of like NounVerber's comps. I'm worried about this Chameleon, though. I guess NounVerber's got the moles. Like, the moles could kind of tank against the Chameleon. If it comes down to that. But Chameleon pushes in the early game are, I've seen, still pretty good on this patch. But yeah, now, like I said, now it's got the moles, so maybe you can hang out against them. Badger from both sides. I think NounVerber deck is literally this guy deck. Like, exactly. Here comes a Mole Rush. Oh, ThatScar's not aware of it. This is definitely a dead pig. Okay. Greedy is NounVerber here. Wants to go for dead pig number 2. A little bit of miss micro there, though. I think he could have had it. Still pretty successful. Gets one pig. You can't be too upset about that. And more moles from NounVerber. This is definitely a feint. Wow, ThatScar actually forced to sell it, though. squirrel's not going to quite be up in time to contest it. This is always a tough... I actually think this is a little bit of a mistake from ThatScar. When you spawn into a map, it's always good to think about, like, he should have taken this farm first, you know? You know what I mean? Like, you want to try to take your most exposed farms as quickly as you can and leave, like this back one where it's, like, impossible for them to mole rush. Just something to think about. I know a lot of times it's, like, really quick and you're just throwing one down wherever, but... Another thing, too, is that this map is not good for ThatScar. This double high ground like this is really bad. And it can be very abused by NounVerber if they're not careful, but this is all just, like, so awkward. Like, you see how all these units have to walk in a single file line? Like, that is so bad. And also, ThatScar can abuse this cliff going into NounVerber's base as well. And already picks up a Warren. Even if NounVerber trades evenly right here, he's already down. We talk about defender's advantage a lot, but that's really offender's advantage. Is like, hey, if I'm attacking you, then there's a risk you might lose a Warren or a pig or something. Like, yeah, you're gonna get the re-rally faster, but like I could actually deal damage. And this is like a skunk's like best stream here. Like how weird it's gonna be to get around. Like, watch these squirrels try to walk up here. There's no way. This is just a nightmare of a map. But that's what makes Tooth and Tail so fun, is you gotta, like, work around stuff like this. ThatScar's got skunks, too. I'm surprised they haven't rocked down any skunks yet, because this is definitely a skunk map. Skunk loves these little awkward choke points. Because everybody clumps up and walks in a single file line, and they all walk right through your gas. So, we'd love to see some skunks out of ThatScar, but so far just some chameleons. I really feel like NounVerber is trying to abuse the map, which is, like, honestly, like, 60% of Tooth and Tail. Like, you can't control the map. The maps are always random, obviously. But what you can do is you can try to use the map as best you can. NounVerber gets in a fantastic position up here. Starts spraying down the gas. Again, it's just so awkward to ever even get back to these skunks. The chameleon's got a lot of HP, though, so gonna try to doof down in here. Does get the one skunk, dies in the process, though. And NounVerber gonna start getting that gas on the pigs. This is that offender's advantage I was talking about, which is pretty intuitive, I guess. But the fact that, you know, hey, I start winning the fight, I'm attacking, all of a sudden I kill the pig, I kill the Warren, that kind of thing. NounVerber losing that skunk was a pretty big deal, though. ThatScar gonna try to count. Oh my god. Up here on this high ground, too. Like, just sniping these squirrels, man. This is such a great example of a game where, like, the map geography plays such a large role. Now, through all that chaos, ThatScar is trying to look to eco up. 5-minute mark is hitting right now. That's 4 dead farms for both sides. The rest of them on their way out. Another thing that sucks for ThatScar as well is that wasn't a starting pig, which means it would have had less wheat on it. So that's always that awkward scenario where it's like, oh, do I even want to build a farm there again? It's better to spend your 60 bucks on a fresh farm. Right, NounVerber in a position to contest the expansion. NounVerber with a mill of their own at home. All the units just stuck in the gas. That fight just went too good for NounVerber. Again, that choke, like, right there. Like, this is just a skunks. This is, like, the best possible map for skunks. And you can't really call Imba for NounVerber or anything. ThatScar did have skunks, too. And just decided to go with chameleons instead, so... This is the game. I am going to fast forward when the game's, like, over. It is tournament matches, so sometimes people stick around longer. But I want to get through as many games as we possibly can. So if one person should surrender and they are not, we will fast forward. Okay, match number 5. And yeah, I mean, I've still got some good energy. We got some pretty good viewership, so I'm thinking we do another series. Maybe... even Melvin versus Mishi, that'd be pretty hype. Alright, let's get into this. Game 5. Great series between NounVerber and ThatScar. Very evenly matched players here. Up at the top, we've got NounVerber. And in the bottom, ThatScar. Triple tier 3 from ThatScar. NounVerber with a very solid deck. Not sure how I feel about the barbed wire. It can be nice. You know, ThatScar doesn't have the mole or the cam. We'll see how it plays out. Nice big map here. Little bit weird. I like it better for ThatScar, I want to say. 2 bases up here on the high ground, nice and neat. A little bit of water trying to attack into. A little bit of a cliff here to make it awkward. And can possibly take a third. Meanwhile, ThatScar, a lot of water around as well, going to make it awkward to attack into. Second base looks pretty good because of this nice moat. Taking a third base is going to be a little bit weird, though, for NounVerber. I think there's some options, and there's pros and cons to all of them. 9 o'clock, 2 o'clock. This middle, if you're a super big Giga Chad. Hey, what's up, Kerbo? We watched your games earlier today. So, A-Farm double from both sides. ThatScar a little bit more variety with the lizard. The squizzard, as we say. As we say in the biz. The TNT biz. And a campfire over here for ThatScar. Always a nice option. If this becomes a one-base scrappy game, the person with the campfire is the person who is going to win. Okay, Gristmill on the way from NounVerber. ThatScar is going to scout this. Let's see how they decide to react to the expansion. Do they want a gentleman's agreement, take their own expansion, play an honorable game? Or do they want to throw down a bunch of squizzard and say, let's go, boys? The route of honor is going to be the choice for ThatScar. Going for the macro. Taking a couple lizards out for a run by. Oh, NounVerber is going to... Oh, did they see it? Okay, they just saw it. Yeah, unfortunate. I love these little plays. I try to do this stuff a lot, too. What's nice about the 3 lizards, it's not the end of the world. Not going to get this big. Really shouldn't have committed there. But the problem was that ThatScar didn't know that NounVerber knew. Losing 3 lizards, not the end of the world. 3 is a nice number to try to do stuff like that, or even 6 as the game goes on. Because it's like, okay, you lost those, whatever. You know, yeah, it sucks. You know, point for NounVerber, but not the end of the world. Both sides rushing tier 3 blindly. Okay. Oh my god, ThatScar did not see it. Okay, NounVerber coming in for a scout. NounVerber hasn't scouted in a long time. They need to get in there. I feel like the boar is going to do better than the wolf right now. Like, obviously the wolf's the better tier 3 in a vacuum, but right now the boar is going to be better. Oh, it doesn't scout it either. Both sides still don't know. All right, ThatScar going to try to come in again. Still doesn't know. Bruh. Okay. Wild. They're not even, like, that hidden. Just neither side could get in there and see it. Both sides with barbed wire, too. Does the boar attack barbed wire? My answer is no. It's been a while since I've seen a boar-barbed wire interaction. Okay, this one should see it for both sides. Okay, seen and seen. So now they both know. They're going to come out at relatively the same time. I mean, the wolf a little bit sooner. So much wire. What a weird game. Both sides just expand tier 3 greed. And, like, neither gonna get punished because they're both doing it. Ugh, like, the boar's got... Here's the thing. If ThatScar is gonna win, he's gotta go right now. He cannot wait. Once these Falcons get out, I'm starting to like Noun's army comp better and better. If you can leave Noun alone for a little bit, let him transition to more tier 2. Or maybe it's too late already. Yeah, the Falcons are already here. ThatScar's just gonna wait for the Badger. Interesting. Yeah, I think Noun's got the better army now, right? He's pretty low on tier 1. I mean, by design. He knows about the boar. 9's a good number. You can't just totally ditch the squirrels. Like, you gotta have them. Just to be, like, some meat for the meat grinder. Alright, Noun is feeling confident. Maybe this badger is too slow. Trades a falcon for a pig, backs out. Some more wire trying to come down. Noun's not going to commit. Is the badger going to... Yeah, I think the badger... Ugh, this is interesting compositions here. I feel like the badger will be enough to turn the tide. Maybe if NounVerber can, like, hard target the badger down with all the buffed up units, it'll kill it fast enough, but that can be a mistake, too. Like, I feel like I've definitely lost a lot of games, like, over-targeting and, like, dragging units through and that kind of stuff. You know, you don't really... Sometimes it's a little bit unintuitive how that works. NounVerber going for a rear attack. He's a backdoor man. Gonna come in here, get some value. Look at this. So much already going down. Alright, now trying to clear out some wire. We got the badger. We got the super friends, though. I was gonna say best bros, but badger is female. The power couple. Oh, let's not go down that route. The big baddies. There we go. We got the big baddies for ThatScar here. Boar badger. But that's a lot of falcons, man. That is a lot of falcons. Best pals. Roommates. The best buddy. The super friends. Look at that. So cool. Hanging out. So much wire. What is this game? What are we watching? Second wolf on the way for Noun. Third base is... Noun is working on it. Noun's been doing a good job kind of picking apart at the edges here. ThatScar does not have, like, a fully operational second base. So, big income advantage for NounVerber. I think Noun's gonna, like, win this slowly over time. Like, ThatScar is trying to assemble the super friends here. The owl's on the way. But does that even matter? You know, like I talked about earlier, like, the Falcon's kind of like the best unit in the game. I know that's a very controversial statement, but you start getting a lot of Falcons like this. You get some wolf buffs on those bad boys. Like, if ThatScar had Falcons instead of lizards, I wouldn't be as worried for them. I don't even know what ThatScar needs to do at this point. Maybe double badger? Lots of tier 1. Now, the one thing, yeah, keep that in mind. Like, NounVerber really doesn't have a lot of boots on the ground. Oh, the mice can clear out the barbed wire. Interesting to remember. But God, double wolf. This is the second time today we've seen double wolf. Like, everybody's got a buff. Oh, are we going to get a direct engagement? I don't know. Now, keep in mind, we do have some skunks here against tier 1, but ThatScar's just got numbers, and sometimes that can matter. Like 27 tier 1 is a lot, plus the mice, but you also got to think about that they all got to find a tile, so there's that aspect of it too. ThatScar really hesitant to engage with this because he knows that it's going to be one big fight and then that's the game. He needs to micro this badger. The unit to watch in this position is the badger. The badger needs to get the rev up, needs to stay alive, needs to start going to town. The badger gets doofed down by the Falcons, and that should be game for NounVerber, I believe, especially if they can make it out with these wolves. Yeah, Falcons are pretty good units. They deal a lot of damage, but I'm not even saying the Falcons won that fight. Really, NounVerber won that fight from all the plays he's been making all game long by all the chip damage. And look at this economic difference. Like, that was not a fair engagement, dollar-wise, you know? Double wolf, though. Gonna close this one out for NounVerber. ThatScar gonna fight for his life. This is a tournament match. And he didn't hear no bell. But this is over. So NounVerber is going to win this 3-2. And what do you say? We got some good viewership. I got some more energy. I think we can do another series. Congrats to NounVerber here. There is a lot that needs to get done.